Mr. Shoemaker, you ready? Mr. Gray, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, council, let's get to work. We'll go ahead and open this special meeting that's called today to review more of the budget. I need a motion to approve the agenda.
So,
Moved by Mr. Creel,
I'll second.
seconded by Mr. Gray. Any discussion? All in favor? Those opposed? Motion carries. Mayor's report.
There we go. We're going to run over Public Works and Water and Sewer today. Was there anything else you want to do, Council President?
All right, no mayor's report, though? No formal mayor's report yet? Okay, we'll get to the policy agenda in a minute. Council reports?
None.
Gray? Any? Council report?
Yeah.
yeah,
Mr. Tisdale?
Do you have something you want to say, James? Go ahead. You go first.
Mr. Creel?
yeah, just real quick, I know you had made reference to it at a previous meeting, but I'd got several phone calls over the weekend just about the brown grass. I don't think we're spraying, is it Roundup or something? Herbicide or something. It's just a lot of concern over the dead grass as opposed to the edging and weed eating, just to raise concern with that. That was all. Yeah.
Thank you. Mr. Tisdale?
Yes. With the installation of the new traffic light to that, to the Gulf Coast Community College on Pass Road, on the north side, you have Westview Drive, ingress and egress for the western part of Edgewater Estates. And then on the east side of Goose Point, you have Fairview Drive, which has a sign that says, please, something like, do not block intersection, because the traffic stacks up at that Eisenhower light at Pass Road. The same thing is occurring as was anticipated there with the new Community College Road. And if we could get 2 more of those do not block intersection signs, one at Westview Drive, as you approach Westview Drive, so motors can see that in the westbound lane, and then the other at Lakeview Drive, I believe it is. As I said, there's one at Fairview Drive. There's already a sign there. Then the next spot where you'd need a sign is the very next road, which is Lakeview. And then on the other side of Goose Point, you have Westview. That would help, but because the people coming out, they often have to wait just to turn right and enter traffic on Pass Road. And less safe is if they're trying to get out and turn left when that traffic stacks out. That's kind of a safety issue. But if we could get those signs up, it might help those folks get in and out, and at least, because it aids folks trying to turn down those roads too when the traffic stacked up. That's all I got.
We turn those over to the police and also with Public Works. They're putting those through the process at this point in time.
All right, thank you. That's all I have. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Tisdale. Mr. Shoemaker?
No report.
Okay, the only thing I'd like is, I know there's another little pause in the dredging. If I could ask Ms. Labata to come up and just give a brief summary of what's to be expected. This is over in the Brazier Bayou area.
In our Brazier Bayou project, we met with the contractor today just for our routine meeting. And he let us know that he's done with all the dredging work from his big barge, and he needs to bring his small barge in now. Right now, his small barge is doing some other work, so it'll be up to, he said 1 to 2 weeks, but we're going to go ahead and say 2 weeks max to bring that small barge in. You will see, residents will see hydrographic survey crew back out there. He's going to do a kind of intermediate survey just to see where they stand. So they may see some people out there in the water doing some stuff, but it'll be about 2 weeks pause in the dredging while he brings his new barge in from his other job.
Thank you for that update. Next is citizens' comments. Is there anybody out there that wants to make any comments? There being none, citizen comments is now closed. We'll move on to the policy agenda. If the clerk could read the subject matter.
Subject matter is to discuss the 2025-2026 municipal budget.
All right. Now, if I could ask Mr. Weaver, can we start with the legislative budget first, and then we'll go into, I think on the agenda is water and sewer, is that one of them? And then the other one is public works? Okay, that'll be the topics. We still have a lot of time today, council. We don't have a lot of time left to get this budget going. We're running out of days, so if we want to swing around and tackle some issues, I'll ask for that after we conclude these three reviews. So let's start with the legislative budget. Yep. Carrie? I do. Why don't you give us a brief?
Well, what would you like to know? Hang on.
Just hit some of the variances as you see it in the legislative and kind of give an explanation.
The one big change we made is where I asked for the accounting, auditing, and consulting monies to be moved. Diana and them take care of that, so I asked for that to be pulled out of our budget so they can pay for it, because they work with that audit, not me. So I asked for that to be removed, so that's 129.9. That's, I asked to be removed.
We moved it over to the executive, admin. The cost of the audit, we moved that over to the admin budget.
Yes.
And we moved it from the legislative budget. That's where you see that change. Okay, thank you for that. Any other variances?
Yes, and the postage has gone up again July of 2025. So we increased that to $8,500 to allow at least one ward meeting per council member per year. So that's $8,500. And we did a small increase in uniforms to get more shirts. And I decreased advertising because we go with a smaller newspaper. Machinery, equipment. I did reduce conventions and conferences because we did not use all the money last year, so I downed that to $8,700. And that's about it.
Thank you, Carrie, for the overview. Does anyone have any specific items they'd like to discuss? I'll start with Mr. Shoemaker.
I don't.
All right, Mr. Gray.
I have none for right now.
All right, Mr. Tisdale.
I really have a broader question, and it deals with increased costs, but I'll ask Diana a few questions later on.
Okay.
Not right here, so we get through these departments. No biggie, just, thank you.
All right, Mr. Marshall. Any items on the council report?
Yeah, just out of curiosity, as far as the memberships, what would normally be in the membership?
We had memberships to certain things back in the day. I'm not real sure because we haven't used it in forever.
So in other words, if we say
No,
membership will be to an example of,
maybe MML, but there's no membership fee to MML. It's just a conference fee. But that's not a membership. It goes through conventions and conferences, the MML fee.
Carrie, we do pay an amount to MML, and it comes out of the executive budget, but I think it covers the whole city.
Oh, to MML? I was not aware of that. Okay.
what about for the, do we do anything as far as paying for membership into like the chambers or anything like that, in those groups?
I'm not aware of any chamber membership,
Do they require, do they ask us, anything like that?
not to my knowledge.
I think, if I might, I mean, I get notifications for things, but I'm a past member. I'm on the board of the Biloxi Bay Area Chamber of Commerce, but I think the Gulf Coast Chamber of Commerce, maybe it's an honorary thing. I think we all get invitations. I would assume we do for ribbon cuttings.
Right, I get invitations, but
But I don't know if we're members. That I can't answer.
wouldn't that be something that we would like want to look into, maybe, as far as the council members are? Become more active in development, things like that?
I know we're honorary members of both chambers, the Coast and the Biloxi Bay Chamber. So I can ask Tina or the other
Can you-
chamber.
All right.
And Mr. Marshall, by the way, I believe we have a Biloxi Bay Area Chamber Board meeting today. I'll be there at 5 o'clock. If you want to come in and sit by me, come on.
Why you go so many meetings, man? How do you find the time?
Well, if you stay home, you have to do stuff. All right. Love my wife. Thank you.
I'm good.
All
5
right.
o'clock.
Mr. Creel?
No questions.
Mr. Neal? I have none. I think the council report was a pretty quick overview, and there's not any major changes, so we'll move on to the next topic. Which one you want to cover, Mr. Weaver? Which one you want to jump into?
Let's do the water and sewer, and if I have a request, if we can go through it about as quick as we did that one, I would appreciate it. Sure.
Just want to remind everyone that water and sewer is an enterprise fund, so any revenues that are generated are spent into this fund, so just keep that in mind as you're reviewing it. Go ahead, Mr. Weaver.
And on this, of course, you know, Councilman Glavin, that we're in that process till 2027 with a 3% raise on the billing, water billing and sewer annually. And that was approved, I think, in '24, and it's good until '27. So in '27, we'll have to take a look. I think you usually do it for 4 to 5 years when y'all approve those. So that will be coming into effect as well, too. So you'll see some increase in that, about 3%.
A question about that. So as that's phased in, and we've done that pretty much every 4 years for the last, I think, couple of terms, is the revenue exceeding the expenses? I would assume that it is, or is our revenue relatively flat? Since it's a business type, are we making a profit or are we losing money?
We have been expending dollars on capital outlay, buying equipment and whatnot.
Right.
So that has eaten a little bit into the profit. We'll lose fund balance again this year. So no, the 3% is not enough to maintain the expenses we have been experiencing.
Okay. And if I recall correctly, none of you were on the board except for Kenny and I now, but originally, and Christy, you may remember this, as I recall, at one point we were sucking money out of the general fund to the tune of about $1 million a year, or $1.5 million a year. So that was yeoman's work to change the water rates, and I just want to be sure we need to be making money as any business would. Would it be prudent to, whatever the schedule increase is for that's scheduled to take effect October 1st. Any thoughts on should we increase that? And if so, how much at this point? It's just, I hate for us to just dig our hole a little deeper each year and then 3 or 4 years from now, we're our fund balance is gone.
No, I understand, and we currently are looking at several different options on there. So for me to tell you one way or another, Councilman Tisdale, right now, I would be misspeaking from that. But let's go ahead and get through this process, and then once we're able to do a deep dive on some of the issues that Mr. Foreman and I have already taken a look at, along with Ms. Labata, I think that's going to help increase some of the funding on there. And if we need to come back to you at that point in time, we will. But currently, right now, I would request just a little extra time to make that determination.
Sure, I understand that. So you're aware and everybody's looking at it, and once we get through this budgeting process, we'll be looking at whether to increase something above and beyond what the scheduled increase is October 1st. We'll just check and see.
Well, and another thing that we may want to take a look at is different parts and pieces, because we may not just want to look wholeheartedly at just the water rates or the water and sewer rates. We may want to go back in and let's take a look at some of the tap fees, some of the other things that we're doing. Are we in line with those? And that's what we're doing right now, is taking a look across the board. Are we in line with everyone else that we're looking at, the termination fees, all of those things that add up to that?
Okay.
Those would be the things that I'll ask a little leniency on right now for us to be able to come back to y'all and report and say, hey, our recommendation from the executive branch would be this.
Okay, that's fine, fair enough. Thank you, sir.
See you, Ken.
Thank you. Anyone else want to speak on any of these?
So we are, at this point, what I'm hearing is that we're spending more than we're taking in.
Based upon some of the repairs and the capital investments that we're doing, yes, sir. Now, to tell you how much,
That's what I need to know.
It's about $1 million.
about $1 million this year.
Okay, so any rate
Our
increase,
fund, how much do we have?
About 3.2 to start the year.
So we'll have 3.2 to start the year out. So I understand $1 million is a lot of money, but that's where I also need a little leniency as far as let's determine which way we want to go. Because I don't want to make a haste decision or provide you with hasty information that then will not actually do what we need to do.
so we're gonna have to cover the $1 million shortage.
Not necessarily, because there's also several meters that we're taking a look at, and when I say several, it's a lot more than that, but we're looking at how do we make sure we're getting accurate reads, and then I want to take a look at the other. So to tell you that we're going to be $1 million short, that's an assumption at this point in time. So I don't think we'll end up being $1 million short on there. Would I come back to you later on and ask you, let's reevaluate the different fees? That will probably be something, once I get with the mayor, we'll take a look at those and then get back with y'all on there. But I can't tell you right now that we're going to be $1 million short because we have multiple other things that we're already doing to take care of some of that shortages.
Right now, we're $1 million short.
Based off of an assumption. I can't base anything off assumptions, but what I can tell you is exactly what I just stated. So if you want to go with $1 million shortage, then yes, sir, I'll go with that and we'll lock it in. But if you're saying, Rick, what is the actual number that we're going to be short? I can't tell you that number right now.
Okay. What is your best estimate right now?
My best estimate would probably be,
$1 million, but we also invested in some generators 2 years ago that we are still due money from the FEMA for that. So that's about $600,000 that's outstanding that will help reduce that amount as well. So there's a lot of pieces that come into play. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. We've also had an increase in water meters to get the par levels back to where they need to be for the new houses being built, and they're not cheap. And we may not have that level next year, or we may. I mean, those are some things that are still being reviewed.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Gray?
On the, when we have a repair, do we do it ourselves in-house, or do we sub it out? I mean, because that don't take much to run it up. You get a crew out there over the weekend trying to fix a 12 or 24-inch water main that busted.
that's going to depend upon what type of repair we're looking at as well, Mr. Gray. So to tell you what, I can ask Tracy to come up and tell you what we can fix and what we can't fix, if that would be beneficial.
Right. No, I mean, because, I mean, $1 million, you have, I mean, I don't know how many mains we have bust throughout the year. I mean, it could be, that's where a lot of our money's going also, to repairs. And, you know, big city, older pipes that we have. I mean, everything's up right now, so that could be a thing we may want to look into.
Repairs goes into public works expense, though. Am I correct on that? Or, and then the capital,
Water and sewer handles all.
it goes into, so which account on here does it go into? Water production sewer division?
Well, it can,
Most likely would be 40652 and 40653, 6649.
Okay, I see it. Thank you.
Quick quick question. Under the water production, the negative 322, that's a big amount. Just
What line item are you?
just on the front page where water production, you got a decrease of 322,416.
Oh, 327.
Jamie, hold on, a lot of accounts make that up. Yeah, but a lot of numbers make that up.
Oh, okay, all right.
It's mainly the split in the insurance premiums,
Okay,
because we have to bill out to the enterprise funds.
perfect,
About 300,000 of it comes from that alone.
perfect, thank you.
Mr. Shoemaker?
Just two questions. On the sewer division, it says there's an increase this year of 170,000, and on the sewage plants, an increase of 145,000.
Okay, hold on. I'm not certain where he is. The 145 is our contract with HCUA. It had an increase this year as well, and that is the only item that is reflected in there. The 170 is all the 40653 accounts on the next several pages that account for that 170,000.
Okay, and the 145 you said is just the increase from Harrison County? Correct. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mr. Neal?
Yes, on the 4652 repairs, what's M&E? Is that,
Machinery and equipment.
oh, that's just repairs on all that?
Right.
All right, thank you.
All right, so we basically start out in the enterprise fund having, I'm not going to call it a surplus, but we have a balance of around 3 million. Is that what you said earlier? And we may have to dip into that 3 million. We're not going into the general fund. We would dip into that
Right.
balance in the enterprise fund if we do have a deficit. When we add users, when we add houses and users, that starts to reduce certain cost, does it not?
Well, it can increase costs for the water meters.
For water meters,
Say that again? Right, it will increase. I will let them speak more to that than me.
okay. Is that a pass-through, the water meters? It's just that we have to have a certain inventory on hand so we can respond when we have houses that are built and need that. But is the expense of a water meter a pass-through? In other words, our cost is passed on to the house or the new resident?
Yes, but they set up an account and they pay for every part that goes into the box, including
I'm going to ask you to repeat that. We need to get that on the record.
When they set up an account, then they pay for every part that goes into the meter box to include the box
So we incur the expense
up front.
up front, and then eventually, based on
Recoup that
the new meters, then we recoup that expense.
based upon the usage that we're having, that usage.
So even though there's a cost because we got to maintain maybe a larger inventory as our population and new houses are being built and housing is being built,
And we take a look at
ultimately, we recoup that. But the advantage of having increasing users is it starts to decrease that expense from the Harrison County Utility Authority per house eventually. Is that correct, as I understand it? So that should be lowered. It shouldn't stay the same expense. That's what I've been told in the past. Is that not correct, or do we know that answer?
No, we'll get a budget from them, and it's based upon usage and throughput. And then we'll take that throughput and then pass that along residents.
Okay. All right, I don't have any other questions. Any other questions?
No.
Anyone else? All right, we'll move on to the next subject.
All right, Public Works. Currently, right now, I'm still the temporary director on that, so we're currently saving that salary as we roll through. We do have some vacancies in there that we're holding off on currently. And what questions can we answer for you?
All right, I'm going to start on this end with Mr. Gray. You have any questions?
No, skip me.
All right, we'll skip you, come back. Mr. Shoemaker?
Just, I guess on the, no, I don't have any questions right now. I'm sorry.
All right. Mr. Marshall?
Come back to me.
Mr. Tisdale?
Yeah, I know that we have a high vacancy rate in positions in Public Works. And just based on the information I have, about, at any given point, about 15% of the positions are vacant. Is that accurate? I know y'all don't count noses every morning, but would that be about accurate?
It's going to be around 10-15%, yes, sir.
And I'm thinking roughly the amount of money that was budgeted but unspent, just a quick calculation, Diane, I could be off by a ways here, but I'm looking at about $650,000.
I think that's a little more than I calculated.
Okay, and it may be, I'm just did a quick thing, it may be 550, could be 100,000 less than that, but my point being that there's money that we're budgeting for that's not being expended. But more importantly, there's a task that Public Works has to do every day, and it's manpower intensive, and they just, I mean, with 15% of your 15% of your workforce not showing up or not available, there's really no way you can catch up, much less get ahead. Would that be an accurate statement? I'm sure in a city this size. Right, and for some reason I'm thinking the number that comes to mind is about, I guess maybe about 61 folks in Public Works these days, between 60 and 65. Would that be accurate roughly? Or do you know? Do you have a feel for?
Public Works and water sewer, or just the Public Works?
Just for Public Works.
That's about a good number.
I would say that's about accurate.
Yeah, the last number I looked at was like 61, and that's my number. It didn't come from the administration, other than the report I get from HR. I think people would be surprised to learn that in Public Works there are 61 people working hard to keep things going in the city. That's a tough job. That's a big demand on 61 folks. Particularly with the aging infrastructure that we have. But anyway, that's all. I just wanted to make that point, is we need manpower. We've got the money budgeted to be spent for manpower. We just need bodies to come to work in the city of Biloxi and help get things done. Many hands make light work, and when you're short people, when you're short bodies, that means everybody's got more to do. And usually you run out of hours during the day before you run out of people, but it's tough when you're running out of both. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Neal.
I got something, Kenny.
Yeah, on this, on the street sweepers, y'all sweeping the streets right now with them? I haven't seen one operating lately.
They have a contract. They come out at night usually and sweep. They're set up on certain streets, and if somebody calls in and requests, then they just add the street to what they're doing. They just take one street away and add a street.
So that's 75,000, that's just in case we need them?
As far as I know, they're still going out and sweeping.
Right. Our expenses vary anywhere from $55,000 to $60,000 a year. And then they'll do special pieces every now and again at the request of the city or the council, and that's where the extra 75 comes in. But for the past couple of years, it's been anywhere from 55 to 60.
They must do late night.
They do at night.
All right, okay, thank you.
Mr. Tisdale, you want to comment on that?
Yeah, I could help you a little bit on the street sweeper. Whatever we budget, we've never spent that much, but I know that there are certain roads, boulevards, streets, whatever, that the mayor wants swept periodically, every month, maybe once a month or every quarter or whatever, but as council members, you can always submit a road or 2 or 17 or whatever to the lady sitting right next to Christie. What is your name? Oh, John does. Okay, it used to be the old breed. The new breed now has the new John doing it in engineering. But you can make requests, just email them to John, and he'll add it to the list. It would be, and I think that information is posted on the city's website at the beginning of each month or shortly thereafter. So yeah, you have access to that. So if you have, and it also keeps whatever's swept up, keeps it out of the drains, which makes life a little easier in public works. Not much, but a little bit. Go ahead,
And
Chris.
Tracy was saying that the street sweeper has to be on a road with curb. They won't sweep a road that does not have a curb.
That's correct. The brushes have nothing to push against. And there's no truth to the rumor that Elvis drives the street sweeper. There's absolutely no proof to that, but it is true that they come around at night to sweep everything. Thank you.
Thank you. Go back to Mr. Marshall. You got anything, Mr. Marshall?
Pass to Mr. Wayne.
Mr. Wayne?
Yeah, I got a couple questions. How many people y'all say work for the city? I mean, for Public Works?
About 61.
Here showing 72. And we got over, and the mayor gave me a list of the vehicles. We got over 101 vehicles and only 71 people. I mean, that's a lot of vehicles to be having with only 71 people. I mean, maybe that's the way we can minimize some of the gas and, looking at it that way. And I'm sure all them vehicles ain't on there.
Some of those vehicles may be like dump trucks or things like that too.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
They're-
That's just the vehicles, the trucks, the vehicles, cars or SUVs are what we have. And that's what I counted. I think Parks and Recs had like 32 vehicles. So, I mean, we got 101 cars. That's a lot for only 72 people. Yes, maybe that's something else to look at.
Some of them may be inoperable.
A couple other things.
A lot of them sit at the garage.
Let me get to my paper. And on the street sweepers, anyway, we can get a list of the roads that they do. I mean, because I know over in the Saint area over there, what everybody calls it, the Saint neighborhood, St. John, St. George, them roads not been swept in a long time, and everything's going right into the drainage. So, I mean, if they can get through there, I mean, that would be a big help, and I'm sure we all have some in there. I know I brought up to Mr. Weaver about getting the stadium backs, going back of the ATVs, the side-by-sides. That would be a big help for us if they're feasible. It'd be something for us to look into. Because if we got them, then we can put one man picking up trash and picking up leaves. That would be a big help and, keep the drainage out also. One other thing, let me find my paper. On the machinery equipment, the direct purchase, we're looking at, we're going to decrease it, we're not buying any. I know we was at 2025, 970,778, and then 2026, only be 362,500. $608,278 that we're going to decrease.
No, sir, we're taking a look from here, and remember, we discussed it, and we're looking possibly at either doing a bond or doing some leasing, and that lease will decrease in that from the budget side instead of outright purchasing at 1 year.
Right.
The things that we're taking a look at right now. So we're really not decreasing anything. We're trying to make sure that we have what we need, but we're also looking at different venues that we'll be able to bring to y'all as well, too.
Right. That's all I have. Thank y'all.
Anybody else? Mr. Shoemaker?
Just a couple of things.
Okay.
On the 6830, account number 6830, machinery, equipment, transportation, there's an increase of $93,000 this year. What?
It's right below it. There's 93 budgeted for fiscal year '25, and there's 740 budgeted for next year. We're still looking at whether things will be moved to the bond or to a capital lease or capital purchase. So some of those items included in there are like big trucks that cost maybe $300,000.
But that's for us purchasing them or leasing those?
This number right here
Right.
reflects us purchasing it.
That's just purchase them, okay,
Right.
okay. And that's something we may have planned?
Right, we'll purchase all of them, but we'll finance them over their useful life.
Right, okay, thank you. The increase on 6494, there's electricity, and it's like, I don't know, almost 70,000 increase. Is that just from the new building, I'm assuming?
No, that has to do with adding streetlights
Oh, okay.
throughout the town, as well as handling the bridge.
Oh, okay, okay. I'm guilty of some of that for sure, streetlights.
Every time we add a streetlight, it's almost like 15 a month.
Okay, okay, thank you. And I think I've got one last question. On the building maintenance,
6602?
well, my apologies, Dan, there's no number listed out beside it. It's on that sheet that doesn't have any numbers listed out.
Front page.
On the very front page we have. Maybe the summary sheet? Under Property Management Division, I'm sorry, Building Maintenance. The increase.
Right now, the budget includes 6 new positions that we're looking to bring some work in-house to stop outsourcing it. And we're still evaluating that to determine what can be removed from operating expenses that will be here. But we still haven't made a determination yet if those 6 positions will stay in there or not.
Okay,
But right now, they're included. It's 2 plumbing positions, 2 HVAC, and 2 electrical.
okay, fantastic. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's all I have.
Mr. Marshall, you ready yet?
Oh, yeah. On machinery, equipment, transportation,
I don't ever understand him.
You understand?
No.
Can you say it again, sir?
on the machinery, equipment, transportation. 6830, account number 6830? Can you explain that for me?
Yes, sir, that was exactly what we just got through talking about, was if we buy the equipment this year, that's what the expense will be. So we removed it on one, and we added it there. So if we go into a capital lease, then we'll do it, finance it over time and pay it that way. But if we have to purchase it at one time, that's the increase there.
Okay, I'm missing something then. Yeah, I see machinery, equipment, direct purchase, then I see machinery, equipment, transportation.
Basically 30.
Am I missing it, or am I hearing it right, or?
Anything under transportation is a vehicle
Okay.
or an ATV. Under the 6,800, it could be a tractor, a lawnmower, some type of computer equipment.
Okay. So we're gonna probably save money by doing what, you say?
You have to repeat that again.
You say the way we purchase it is through leasing. How is that gonna save money, you thinking?
not going to save money. What it'll do is it'll spread it out. Instead of having a one-time expense, you pay that over multiple years, the life of that equipment. And so from the budgeting standpoint, that's what we're trying to take a look at. I've got to get this budget down as low as we possibly can to make sure that we're trying to match up expenses and revenues. But I've still got to be able to provide transportation, machinery, everything else. So what are some outside-the-box thinking that we're trying to take a look at? And those are the things that we're looking at. Same thing as we talked and we discussed even more with like the HVACs. Our air conditioners, our chillers, and all of those things as well, too. We have a lot of roof issues on different facilities that y'all know of as well. So those are going to be things that we're looking to finance over multiple years instead of just taking that bite one time and that affecting that budget.
All right. I'm good.
Good? Okay. I've got a couple of questions. Sanitation services, looks like an increase over the previous budget of $273,000. Why is that?
That is our HCUA contract, and we also pass that along to our citizens, and I believe it's on next week's agenda. There will be a resolution presented to increase the amount to $25.50 per household.
All right, we're passing it to our citizens through which account?
Garbage. It appears on your water bill, but it comes, the water bill, the water department collects it, but it gets transferred to the general fund.
Okay. So this will be a pass-through, ultimately? It's a pass-through?
Yes. Well, some things are our responsibility. Dumpsters are also included in that number, and we actually allocate millage to catch the shortfall on that.
So I'm going to ask a related question. So if this is the increase in the expenses and we're passing it through to the residents, did we add it to a revenue line in our revenue? Mm-hmm. It's been added. This has been added. Okay, just making sure. Other cost and services, other contracted services, an increase of about almost 80,000.
6649.
Are you answering that? You can handle it.
Express Services, that's doing all the extra weed eating and lawn mowing, costs between $45,000 to $57,000 a month. We didn't start off with them in the beginning of the fiscal year for fiscal year '25, but if we're planning to continue to use them through fiscal year '26, then that's where that expense came from.
Okay. Is that enough? Is that enough? Did we budget enough? No. Yeah, I don't think so. I agree with you.
Never
I'm not
exceeded that much.
saying anybody's at fault. I just said, I think we need to spend a little bit more in that area to get the results I think everybody wants, and you got to fit the round peg in the square hole at the end of the day.
Kenny, typically, if this account runs short, we will do a budget amendment transferred from payroll for the bodies that were missing to do the job to offset the expense.
Okay. All right, fair enough. We talked about electricity. I'm going to switch gears to the electrical. That's an increase over the budget last year of $91,500. What is that related to? The additional electrical expense?
That is to fix the lights on the Bay Bridge, correct?
For the Biloxi Bay Bridge and repair.
Okay. That's all I have. Gentlemen, anything else?
Just real quick on the express services. So that's just people? That's just manpower?
There's other stuff in that account. Sometimes patch and replace, outsource items like DNA underground. There's a lot of items in there. It's just not temp labor.
Okay, all right. I was just making sure I'm in the wrong business.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of stuff in there.
right, do we want to tackle anything else as we're coming to the point of the agenda? Y'all want to go into anything else? Y'all want to try to drill down? You want to try to make any, are y'all ready to discuss any adjustments today? All right, Mr. Tisdale wants to ask some general questions. Go ahead, Mr. Tisdale.
Diane, I know that we've had increased costs, for example, personnel costs with PERS has increased their contribution. Would you, and I've made a list of other things that I've heard or wondered about. One is PERS. How much, just PERS alone, with what the state is now requiring contributions, about how much did that add to our payroll cost?
You talking about total for the city?
My head?
For the city, roughly. Roughly, just, it doesn't have to be exact.
You have to give me a minute.
Okay.
It's a big file.
No, and that's why I ask. I mean, all these other costs come into play. I'm thinking, I heard there's an increase in postage. We don't spend a ton of money on postage, but we do spend some money, so that cost is going up. I'm thinking utilities. I just know that this is the first year we've had 3 months with over $500,000 in utilities. That's gas, electricity, and so forth, just looking at the docket. So that's gone up a little, and I don't know what the future holds. Thinking just the cost of vehicles, when I started in this role as a councilman, I think you could get a new truck in the low 20s. And now what we've heard is they're going to be $60,000 or $70,000. I know software costs have gone up. I hadn't been tracking them all, but I tracked a few, and over the years, that's added up. The cost of water meters, I heard, even though that's a cost that's passed on, still you got to come up with the money in a timely fashion. The fuel seems to be relatively stable, but if it goes up a nickel a gallon, that's a big number for the city. Then I'm curious about the tariff impacts, and that's kind of an uncertain market now, but I'm thinking anything that's made in a different country or has components, I'm not an expert on tariffs, trust me. I just would think that there's going to be an impact, not just to us, but to anybody who's buying supplies and materials that happen to be made in other countries. But the reason I mention all that are these are costs somewhat beyond our control. I mean, for example, in PERS, the state says, here's what we're going to do. It's going up, 3% this year, and it's going to go up.
It goes up 0.5%.
0.5%, so it's going to go up a little each year, and we've got to come up with those bucks. And then just over the course of 12 years, inflation being what it is, just if it's, pick a figure, if it's 1.5% a year, usually 2% give or take, but if it's 1.5% a year, that's 18%. The cost of generally the cost of things have gone up about 18%. Diana, you still calculating? It's okay.
It's about 320,000.
320,000, just bingo. So starting this year, when did we start that? Did we start that July 1st?
It starts on July 1, and we just did our second increase. So we're 2 years in, and we have 3 years to go.
Right, okay. The general fund balance to begin 2025, and how much of that fund balance have we burned through this year?
Right now, I have it estimated at about 13 million, our starting balance.
Okay, for this fiscal year, current
26.
fiscal year?
No,
For
for
26.
going into the budget.
What did we start in fiscal year 25, do you know?
Not certain.
Okay. And Mr. Weaver, you had mentioned, matching up the budget expenses and revenue. How are we matching up right now at this point in time today? Typically, what we have is, we always call it a budget hole. The question is, how big is the budget hole? Do you have an estimate on I mean, and that's,
Right now, we still need to cut probably about $2 to $3 million is what we're looking at to be on the safe side.
okay.
And so possibly from that, Diane and I are going to be working with the mayor next week intensively on taking a look where we can get those cuts from across the citywide.
Right, and I'm thinking, in the past, I think maybe we've cut vehicle purchases. Do you really need vehicles? And sometimes you do, but not necessarily. On the other hand, every time we turn around, we need more vehicles in the police department because we really don't keep up, I think, with, I don't know, I always thought of it as crop rotation, a fifth in and a fifth out roughly, because they're rode hard and put up wet, as they say. Are there places where we can cut expenses? Do you have any thoughts on where we can cut expenses?
Yes, sir, and without the discussion with the mayor, I'm not really comfortable talking with that right now.
Right.
I've discussed many things, and what I've already talked to you about is bracing that and taking a look at the leasing program in comparison to what we've been doing as far as purchasing, and also possibly a bond for some of our other facilities, such as the roofs, the HVAC, the chiller systems, some of those larger, longer-lived items.
Any figure or an estimate or a range of?
Working that right now, and Christie's getting some prices, so for me to give those to you right now, I wouldn't know what my plus or minus would be on there. So
Sure.
I prefer just to hold off until the next week or two to be able to give that to you.
All right, so I'm going to say the M word. If we look at a millage increase, I know there's a timeline on publishing. If we elect to, if we choose
That's
to.
going to be between your council and the mayor to make that decision.
Right, but I know that, but my question is, I know there's a timeline there, publishing requirements. Do we know what that date is when we have to have some, should we choose to go that route? Does anybody have that date? Peter, do you have a date by any chance?
Got 3 weeks.
Got about 3 weeks. So in the next, for the benefit of the new council members up here, you know, pay attention to everything that's going on, but I'm also thinking that maybe at our next budget meeting, which will be a week from today following the regularly scheduled council meeting, it might be a good idea to have whatever the mayor's decided in the huddle with his staff. It might be a good idea to kind of roll it out so we know where we are and still have time to make a decision on whether or not a millage increase is necessary. That's all that I have. Thank you, Diana. Thank you, Mr. Weaver.
I got a couple questions I want to follow up on some of Mr. Tisdale's comments. As it relates to the general cut in expenses, this budget assumes full employment in all departments. And we've never adjusted it to relate what we theoretically, or not theoretically, what we practically think will be the actual numbers. Because any given month, we could run as high as 70 or more vacancies. So I think that's one area. If you took 50 positions and assume that they're not going to be filled within the year, you're well close to $2 million when you count the benefits and everything that's related to it. So you're getting close to that number if we're willing to put that on here. Now, if we do achieve full employment, which we would want to do, it's going to require figuring it out. It's going to require budget amendments to cover the increased cost, and we're going to have to either cut other areas, or are we going to have to see some improvement in some revenues that maybe that'll come a little in higher than expectations. But certainly, for the 12 years that I've been serving on this council, we've never achieved full employment. And I don't know how we can practically say we would be 100% of these numbers going forward. It'd be great to see it. We all try to get there every year, but it's generally runs, Mr. Tisdale, you probably could back this up, it generally runs anywhere from 40 to more employees that are unfilled positions.
Roughly, generally, if you looked at about 4% of whatever we budget total for salaries. About 4% is budgeted but not expended. That may vary, could be 3.5% or 2.7% one year, but generally it's between 2.5% and 4%.
So I would start there, and then we'd figure out, I like your lease proposal, Colonel. I like your lease proposal for equipment, and I mean, some will argue in the long run, it may not be beneficial, but hey, we're not in the long run, we're in today. And but I like your idea of leasing equipment and vehicles. So that's all I have. Mr. Gray?
One thing for Public Works, Cleo, y'all doing a great job.
Observations.
So don't think we're being negative on y'all. I mean, y'all doing everything that we ask y'all to do. Y'all doing a great job. We're just trying to figure out all together how to cut budgets because everybody wants a pay raise. And the way it's looking, if there's nothing to give, we can't give. So that's what we're trying to do. So, I mean, y'all guys just hang on there and let's try to get something done because we all agree y'all need more money. But, you know, we got to figure out a way to get it for y'all. That's all. I just wanted to share that with y'all. Thank you.
Mr. Tisdale?
Yeah, to switch to revenue, Diana, just really commenting on the numbers that you gave us, just for the benefit of the world that watches these workshops. But in looking at revenue, total property taxes, with what we're proposing or looking at in fiscal year 26, that's an increase of right at about 5%, maybe a little more, not much. And then under licenses and permits, an increase of about 3.5%, somewhere in there. For franchise tax, that's less, it's a third of 1%, roughly. And then total intergovernmental, which includes gaming tax, and the gaming tax we're looking at basically has been flat for the past couple of years and projected to remain flat. And then gaming device fees, that's going to be flat for next year, literally no increase. And then the sales tax rebate, we hear about that every month, and it looks like it's going up, projected to go up about $400,000, which is less than a 3% increase. So total, and there are other revenue streams under this heading of total intergovernmental. But the total intergovernmental is going up about half of 1%. I'm going to skip grants because it varies from year to year. And then charges for services is expected to go up around $300,000, about 7%. Fines and forfeits, big deal, and I had a question here. In fiscal year 25 this year, total fines and forfeits were 1.1 million, almost 1.2 million, which is a big number because typically we're around 570. What accounted for that this year? Securex. Okay. Right, right. Everything was put on pause, might be a better word from what I understand. So that's what was projected, but that didn't materialize. So we're back to around 570,000. We're pretty consistent there over the last several years. And then we have rents on some properties, and that's expected to go up about 0.75%. And the only reason I mention all that is these percentages and numbers, they're not going up a whole lot. On the other hand, the costs over the years have just, I don't know, what's the inflation rate roughly? Like I mentioned earlier, maybe 2%, it varies. And there are different costs of living, tables you use and all that good stuff, but I'll just leave it there. So our revenue's roughly flat, and if it's up any, it's maybe a cup of coffee or two and not much more. And yet our expenses continue to rise, increase, particularly PERS is a good example. You have no choice. Here you go, start paying it. So That's all. Thank you.
All right. Anyone else have anything to add? Anyone else? We're not ready to make those adjustments yet. You want to hold off on that, or you want to talk about it today, any of the departments? Adjustments to, we can go back into some of these categories and we can start talking about making those cuts, or are y'all not ready for that?
If I could make a suggestion, and that is, like I said, huddle with the mayor, and whatever the administrative team comes up with, I'm sure you're going to have some suggestions. You're much more familiar with the numbers than we are, and you've got resources there that you can pull into play and discuss with directors and whoever else you have to speak with. So perhaps at our next workshop, maybe you have some recommendations on cuts to make. And in addition, I think we're going to be talking about non-departmentals, right?
That'll be coming up.
An initial meeting where folks make requests, and then the following meeting, I guess we will have a determination on what we're going to fund.
All right, let me unpack some things here. First of all, Kerry, when is we got to make this final decision on the budget? What's the last date for it to be approved? September 9th, okay. September 9th is our deadline. That's ground zero for us. So we got a lot of work to do from now. September 9th is coming real fast, right in the face. So we got to ramp it up. On the non-departmentals, I want to change that up a little bit this year and inform them that they'll have a limited time, not this unlimited time, because we spend on one departmental, non-departmental, we'll spend an hour up here burning up some time. So we want to put a clock on it. 4 minutes sounds reasonable to me, and then we can have questions and then try to wrap it up and get to the next one and see how fast we can wrap that up.
Question on non-departmental, is there a deadline for them to submit that, or is?
I don't know, have we set a deadline? What is the deadline for them to submit?
June 30th on my calendar, but they
That's what I was wondering.
June 30th is the fictitious deadline. If they get something in, we haven't even reviewed them yet, so if they get something in, and by the time we get to the non-departmentals, then we've given them leeway, and that's been the case.
So we had received an email with the outlines thus far that people have submitted. Do they update that as they come in? And if they have, can they resubmit? Okay, all right.
I haven't provided any.
Yeah, the letters.
Requests they come.
Yeah, requests.
The
That's what-
request.
Yeah, that's what I was asking, is if, as those come in, can we get updates as they trickle in? Okay. Okay, great.
Ask her to send you the latest and greatest. That's all.
Yeah.
Okay, so the message to everybody, we're kind of at a little bit of a slow pace here. We got to ramp it up. I was hopeful, today I was expecting maybe we'd go into, circle back around, but if the administration could be ready at our next meeting, we've got to spend a lot of time. I mean, this might be midnight oil type of stuff, literally, so that we can thoroughly get into this. These have been just reviews of each of the departments, but we got to get into the nitty-gritty, start making some hard decisions and tough decisions, working with the administration so that we can get it done. So any other closing remarks? I'm going to need a motion to schedule our next budget workshop. I need a proposal.
I'll make a motion.
All right, Mr. Gray, when?
Second.
After the next meeting.
Our next regular meeting,
You want to do it before or after?
After.
after.
You want to do it after, following our content? After? Okay. Going to be a long evening. We'll do it immediately following our next meetings on the 19th. Is that
Correct.
19th? Do I have a second to Mr. Gray's proposal?
second it.
Second by Mr. Tisdale. Any additional discussion? By anyone? All in favor? Those opposed? Motion carries. Chair will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Tisdale. Second. Second by Mr. Shoemaker. Any discussion? All in favor? Those opposed? We adjourn.
Just sit right there, don't move. Went faster than I thought it would.
that string, so.
I'm from the military, you don't raise your hand volunteer for nothing.